All right, everyone. So now we're going to practice the belly breathing that I mentioned in the previous video. When we're coming down, the reason why, and I don't know if I really brought that up last time really well or not, or made a point of it, the reason why we pay so much attention about keeping the feet together, the hands together, the knees straight by pointing the toes, is so that the hips become level, and when we come down again, you're going to be able to detect where your tension is. If you're coming down, chin tucked in, breathing, reaching, and one knee starts to come up like this, or you start feeling pain or discomfort, that's a sign that that side of your body's tight, the side that you go away from when you come down. And the reason for that is because when the rib cage doesn't move and open up properly in the back, your pressure from your ribs on that one side are pulling on your hip, because your hip and your ribs work together. So when your ribs are tight, your hips get tight. So to keep your ribs open allows your hips to stay open. So when you're coming down, if you have a lot of tension in your lower back and your rib cage, you're going to feel one leg kind of bounce up or kind of come up or something like that. And you're going to kind of crash down. And when that happens, it's a sign that you have something going on. Now, this is how we can detect that, because sometimes we don't know until we move and try things with our body that we have a lot of pressure. Right? That's why when you go throw a baseball, all of a sudden you hurt your shoulder. It's because you're noticing at that athletic movement and looseness that you have to have, you don't have it. So now you're getting pain signals from your body. So when I'm coming down, again, I'm going to pay attention. I'll just display how I do it. I look for my alignment. I lay down. Okay, so now we're here on the ground. The legs are relaxed. The arms are down, elbows down, palms up. I've done a few rib cage breaths. Remember, belly in, shoulders away from the neck, palms turning open. I've done a few of those. Now I feel pretty good and nice and loose in my neck, shoulders, chest, and lower back. Okay, so now I'm on the ground. Now I'm going to focus on doing my rib cage breathing like we talked about in the previous video. And that's where I suck in the belly as I inhale, and I pull both shoulders gently away from the neck, turn the palms open towards my thumbs, making sure not to push against the ground. When I exhale, let everything relax from the top of my skull down to my feet and down to my hands. Now I do enough of those until I feel nice and loose in my neck, my shoulders and chest, and my lower back. That's indicating to me that I've opened my ribs in relation to these pressure points I'm on right now. So my front of my spine is pretty good right now. But now I want to focus on opening my hips. Now, because the hips are dependent on the ribs being loose, to get to my hips, I had to open my ribs first. I've done that. Now I can get to my hips. So what I'm going to do is a different kind of breath. As I inhale, I'm going to expand my belly out like a balloon, like I'm doing here. And I'm going to point the toes towards, away from my body, away from the front of my body. So I just point my toes. And I'm going to keep holding the breath and holding the pointed toes. Don't use a lot of energy, just a little pointing of the toes. And don't activate your thighs. Don't straighten your knees like I just did there. Keep them relaxed. Now when you exhale, just relax your feet slowly. Don't point your toes anymore. Relax your ankles, your knees, your hips, your spine, your head, all the way out to the skull, all the way out to your hands. And I'm going to show you this breath 2 times without talking here, guys. Here we go. Okay, so as always, you're slowing down the breath to all 4 parts: the inhalation, the holding, the exhalation, and once the air is gone, no breathing. So those 4 parts, okay? The same kind of thing you did for your ribs. Now, the key to that is that you're opening up your hips, and your hips are a structure that's a little more solid. We're going to show a little diagram of it. And the hip is a solid structure, and so it's not like the rib cage. It's not slotted. It's not slotted at all. It's a little bit, it's more solid, right? So it's on the sides of the body, and it's in the back where it connects at the sacrum, which is the bottom of your spine and the tailbone, right? So the front of your hips are pretty open, all the way down to the front at the bottom of the front. And your abdominal muscles are very long muscles that attach at the bottom of your ribs, all the way at the bottom here across, and all the way down to the bottom of your hips in the front and the sides. So they're just huge, long muscles. And the front of them, again, can really expand. So when you inflate your belly, like I just did on the inhalation, it stretches them out. It gives them a chance to open up a little bit, and it takes pressure always away from the middle. right? So the body is always trying to take pressure off of the spine, the middle of your body. And that's what we want to learn to do. So when you take that breath, you point your toes, keeping your legs relaxed and turned out, your front of your hips open, and to take the pressure off the front of your spine, at the bottom of your spine. Okay? So that's the game. We're playing that same game that we played in the ribs, we're playing it at the hips. The hips don't need as much attention usually, just a little bit. Now the third type of breath, the last one we'll practice, is just a meditative breath. We can call it that, or the nice slowed down breath, whatever you want to call it. You make up your own name. It's all going to be good. Here's the key. When you inhale now, you no longer try to expand your ribs all the way. You're not trying to expand your belly all the way. You're not going to point your toes and not going to reach with your arms. You're going to do very little. All we're going to do, and it's hard to see and detect, but you're going to feel it, is that you're going to slow the breath down in through the nose preferably, using the least amount of effort and energy. We're going to hold it as long as possible. When you feel the need to exhale, let it out as slow as possible, preferably through the nose so it comes out slower. And once the air is gone, just wait as long as you can in that stillness and that silence of the body, being drawn down by gravity. Repeat that a few times. That is the natural transition of the breath. Okay, so we want the breath and everything we do with our body anyways to be instinctive, right? We need everything to be in tune with the body, because when we find attunement with the body, we find grace. Grace is what we see wild animals moving like, right? They move with grace. And so what we're looking to do is first start the breathing here so we can start to use a little effort in moving pressure off our spine. Once we achieve that, we go to the belly so we can find some effort in moving pressure off our hips and spine. And then we go into that nice natural transition of the breath becoming comfortable, calm. Because we've gotten rid of pressure, so now we're calmer with our body and our minds, because our brains have calibrated to the flow of the body. And now we're tuned in, we flow with the earth, the pressure, the internal externals, with what the cells are saying is going on from gravity. And now all of a sudden we feel at peace, calm. That's that spiritual aspect of what we're doing, right? That's that whole tuning in, becoming one that we all seek to achieve, and it comes from the practical application of breath control. Something you have no choice in doing is breathing, but you have a choice in how you do it. It's a skill like anything else we do. We're going to practice some more stuff in the future. We'll do some more videos, hopefully. If you guys have any questions, leave comments. Let me know what's going on, what you think, or email us. We'll put an email for you guys and some way that you can contact us. But I appreciate you guys watching the videos, and stay safe, stay well out there, guys. Talk to you soon.